Imagine this whole area teeming, buzzing with life. Traders from around the world, warriors, kids, farmers, all used to gather around here to trade and to live. This place is called St. Albert's Church, and you can see behind me here the remains of an old church that was built almost 1,000 years ago. "500 meters north from here, there used to be an old marketplace back from around 700 till around year 1000. Basically the known Viking age. And the Vikings settled here. They built this fortress to defend from invaders and raiders from the east and from the south. Just across the water here is Germany. And just a little bit up north, there was the Slavic tribes that used to, do the same as the Vikings used to do. So we can't really complain about that. So they built this defense post here. The first square here used to be a tower that they would use for defensive purposes. And it was built around when this place was founded in around 700. After the Christianity came to Denmark in the around the year 1000 or so-ish, this place was transformed a little bit. There was built a little bit of a church around here, and the place kind of shifted from being a defensive place to more of a religious spot. This right here used to be the old tower that would defend from the sea and would have a pretty good view of what was going on out at sea, and would have been able to defend or at least be an early warning signal for the rest of the people around here, so they could get to safety if that was needed. Behind me here you see the remains of the church, and I believe this part was built up in around 1200 or 1300 or so, around that period. St. Albert was apparently not very known in Denmark. He's not a big saint in Denmark. Well, he lived in the 9th century in Prague, where he became a bishop, and then he had a martyr. He was killed in some sort of way, and a couple of years later he was made a saint. And apparently, I think he's the saint of luck or so, but mostly in the Eastern European countries and in Germany, so not so much in Denmark. I think this is actually the only church devoted to him in Denmark, or at least the remains of it. So. I think it's pretty cool to walk around in the past almost. I know it's not really the past, but we can pretend a little bit. This whole fortress used to be bigger. I don't know how big actually. I don't know if it was a complete circle or how it was shaped when it was originally planned out. But apparently the sea has claimed some of the land back. So right behind me here you can see a little bit of the reason why they chose this location for the fortification. It's practically impossible to storm this beach, and especially if there's a garrison full of soldiers on top of this cliff. So it's pretty smart thinking, if you ask me. Here you can see the moat that surrounds the entire fortification. It's around 2.5 meters deep and 5.5 meters wide. And the walls that used to surround this fortification used to be a spike wall or a palisade. And it too would have been 2.5 meters tall from ground level and 7 meters wide. So there was room for how many soldiers you would need on such a fortification. But yeah, I would go down there, but I'm afraid of snakes, so no thank you. Now we're on top of the wall, and there's a long way down for anyone who wants to attack this place, or up I should say, probably more likely. But here, from up here, you can see this whole field used to be a marketplace back in the Viking age. They found remains of ironwork and glass work, and they even found coins from Arabic. They even found coins from Arabic countries, and even and Frankish coins as well. So it might not have been Arab people or Frankish people who've been here, but at least traders who have been to those sort of places has made their way through this place at some point in time. This field is actually called Havsmarken. And hav means basically sea or ocean in Danish, and marken means field. But there's an old Danish word, mærken, and that apparently means, it's an old Danish word for market as well. So I think some people think that this place used to be called like a market by the sea. So it would make sense, because there's the market and there's the sea. So on the hilltop right behind me, you can actually, there's also more signs of even earlier civilizations living in this area. There's an old gravesite on the very top, and it's around 5,000 years old. So people have been living in this area for a long time. I should point out that all this, as far as I know, is a reconstruction of what it was, at least some of it. I don't know how much of the actual fortress were left standing, but I think around 30 years ago or something like that, they kind of took this a little bit more serious and started protecting it and starting rebuilding some of the stuff, so people would have an actual idea of what used to be here. That's it for me this time. I hope you enjoyed taking a closer look at an old Viking settlement, an old church. If you enjoyed, please consider subscribing. I'm planning on doing more of this sort of stuff, and especially if people actually like it. And if you have any questions or just want to comment me on my brilliant work, then there's always the comment section. And yeah, I'll try and answer any and all questions. All right? I hope you enjoyed. Take care.